For decades, UFOs have been the stuff of science fiction. Could they also possibly be the stuff of reality? Our David Pogue is in hot pursuit of an answer.
We've always been fascinated by aliens.
We have come to visit you in peace and with goodwill.
And that's putting it mildly. And mathematically speaking, aliens should exist.
There are 2 trillion other galaxies we can see, each with 100 billion Earth-like worlds. 100 billion. Okay, it's hard to believe they're all sterile.
Seth Shostak is the senior astronomer at the SETI Institute. SETI stands for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. I happen to know that this is sort of a trick question when people say, do UFOs exist?
I mean, obviously UFOs exist because that just means unidentified flying objects. But the real issue here is not that you see things in the sky, it's what you claim they might be.
You just can't assume if you see something in the sky that looks a little weird that it's some kind of alien thing, which is what a lot of people assume.
Author and investigative journalist Leslie Kean.
Most sightings that people have, oh, I see something in the sky, those kinds of sightings can usually be explained. The planet Venus, airplanes, comets, shooting stars, birds, let's say 5 to 10% are the cases that any conventional explanation can be ruled out. Those are the cases that are of interest.
In 2017, Kean co-authored a New York Times story that revealed the existence of, believe it or not, a secret Pentagon program devoted to studying UFO sightings.
It was a huge revelation to know that the government took it that seriously. There's really been a sea change of attitude towards this topic. It's not to say that there's no more ridicule, but it's way less.
And sure enough, in a CBS News poll, 2/3 of Americans say they believe that there's intelligent life on other planets, up 10% from 2017. The Times story included links to 3 videos captured by Navy fighter jet pilots in 2004 and 2015 with infrared sensors.
My gosh. They're all going against the wind. Look at that thing, dude. It's rotating.
The Navy and the Department of Defense have not been able to explain what this thing was, with all the work they've done on it.
More recently, Navy sailors captured this night vision video of 3 triangular somethings off the California coast. The Pentagon declined our request for an interview, but offered a statement that said, in part, the Department of Defense takes any incursions by unauthorized aircraft very seriously and examines each report. As we collect additional data, we expect to close the gap between the identified and unidentified to avoid possible strategic surprise.
That's always the biggest question. Is it Chinese? Is it Russian? Could it be their technology? And if it is, we're in trouble because they're way ahead of us.
I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone who has seen more reports, paperwork, photographs, interviews as you on this topic. Has there ever been a confirmed extraterrestrial ship?
We'd have to say no. We'd have to say what's confirmed is that we don't know what this, let's call it a ship or an object. We don't know what it is. We can just say what it isn't.
Right.
And you can ask yourself, well then what? And of course, what we call the extraterrestrial hypothesis is a valid one. I mean, maybe it is from some other place in the universe.
Now, the military's secret program was only one 2017 surprise. Oumuamua was another. Oumuamua, which means scout in Hawaiian, is something that a Hawaiian telescope glimpsed in 2017 just as it was leaving the solar system.
We cannot really chase it. It's moving faster than any rocket that we can produce.
Avi Loeb teaches astrophysics at Harvard. Until last year, he was the chair of Harvard's astronomy department.
Prior to the discovery of Oumuamua, we have never seen an object from outside the solar system. It's the first interstellar object, and that by itself surprised me.
Loeb identified 3 other strange characteristics of Oumuamua. First, it seemed to be flat, like a pancake. Second, it had no tail, as a comet does. Finally, it was accelerating away from the sun as though being pushed.
And in order for that to happen, the object had to be very thin, sort of like a sail reflecting light, instead of reflecting the wind as you find on a sailboat.
A pair of Harvard scientists say a massive, fast-moving visitor to our solar system may have been a probe sent by an advanced alien civilization.
So we suggested that perhaps this object is a technological relic. In fact, a sail produced by another civilization, and the first indication that such a civilization exists.
Loeb's theory didn't win him any friends among other scientists, especially when he turned it into a best-selling book.
All right, Jill next.
So, Avi, I get a little bit pissed off when you throw the entire scientific culture under the bus, because some of us have been thinking about and building instruments to find anomalies for a very long time.
My colleagues responded very negatively.
I am not convinced that Avi's right about this. You know, there are a lot of people here who know a lot more about asteroids than I do, and they say, look, it looks like an asteroid, it quacks like an asteroid, it has all the characteristics of an asteroid.
SETI's Seth Shostak wasn't persuaded by the Navy videos either.
Think about the fact that there are 750 or so satellites up there whirling around the Earth, making those photos you find on Google Earth. Don't you think they would have found some of these saucers if they were really around?
You sound like a skeptic about there being extraterrestrial intelligence, and yet you work for SETI, whose mission supposedly is to find it.
Yeah, I have no doubt that there's extraterrestrial intelligence. But it's a different thing to say, and not only are they out there, but they've come to visit. But the evidence, to my mind, is not good.
Loeb, Kane, and Shostak all agree on one thing, that the government and the scientific community should spend more effort and money on the search for alien life.
The scientific community refuses to discuss it. I think this should be a mainstream activity. Just like we are doing archaeology on Earth, we can explore archaeology in space, in search for past cultures that are not around anymore.
Next month, if all goes well, the Pentagon's UFO research group, now called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, will finally go public with a report requested by Congress. But no matter what that report winds up saying, Seth Shostak doubts it will change anyone's mind. Is there anything wrong with people believing whatever they want to believe?
I don't see too much harm in it, to be really honest about it. I mean, the aliens, if they are here, they don't do much, right? They don't address the national debt. They don't cure any disease. They don't do anything except occasionally appear to people in their cell phone videos.
So live and let live.
Yes, yeah, maybe that's the right attitude.